This is part B of the Kudilar television channel, broadcasting time at 1900 hours GMT in London, UK within quotation marks, on the May Bank holiday, Monday, 27th of May 2024. Continuing our commentary, world exclusive commentary on the Sunday Times magazine promotion of the BBC Radio 4 Today program presenter Mishal Hussain, whose book, I'll read the title of the book, Broken Threads, My Family from Empire to Independence. Now the whole kind of manipulation of those words together, empire is being used instead of imperialism. Empire is being used as a positive thing, as a good thing. And there is an apparent extract there. At midnight on the eve of India's independence from British rule, instead of British imperialism, occupation, Jawaharlal Nehru, the country's first prime minister, uttered his famous words on India, waking to life and freedom. Now that is the day after Pakistan became independent on the 14th of August. So there is this clear departure, antipathy to, and neglect of the idea of Pakistan, the Muslim country. And Jawaharlal Nehru, although his father Motilal Nehru was active during the 1920s, 30s as an Indian National Congress leader, it was Jawaharlal Nehru who took over as Prime Minister of India post 15th of August 1947 and consolidated the foundation of Brahmin India, Brahmin rule over India, overcoming, suppressing, denying, and violating the rights of hundreds of millions of Muslims, India-born Muslims, Muslims in India. And in this extract, she doesn't mention Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And the mention of Pakistan in this extract on page 17 of the Sunday Times magazine is only by default. The reason why it is so important to mention that she leaves out Jinnah and emphasizes Jawaharlal Nehru is that it was Muhammad Ali Jinnah who tried to prevent the fragmentation of the subcontinent, prevent the fragmentation effectively of the place as it was in June 1757, where the overall government was a Mughal government. So the heading, how my grandparents escaped a massacre is actually avoiding blaming the actual causers of the massacre. As we said before in the previous edition, the use of Mishal Hussain at various levels is part of the crusade, crusade against Muslims that is being maintained by the perpetration of the image that the crusaders have built around Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai as a child was the focus of various ennoblement, crusaders' ennoblement, emphasizing her almost near saintly status at the expense of the Muslims. Muslims, more than 1 billion Muslims in the world. And the focus, the center of the Muslims, the focus of the attack on the Muslims of the world is, of course, Pakistan. Not because Pakistan is an Islamic country, governance wise, but the idea of Pakistan as a separate state was the protection, the safety of Muslims that would have been massacred beyond the numbers that can be comprehended. Mishal Hussain probably encompasses all the crusader values, hatred, incitement against an intolerance of Muslims that the BBC, the British establishment, the imperialists, the crusaders have been able to put together. Many other individuals that they have tried have not been able to be promoted as Mishal Hussain because she's a woman, and that pitted against Pakistan, against a Muslim country, against the concept of a Muslim country comes very handy, because the slogan, the narrative is that Muslims are in denial of women's rights, that Muslims are opposed to women's rights, which is what Malala Yousafzai is about, the image, the imaged Malala Yousafzai is about. We shall be continuing linguistic, evidential, factual analysis of the promotion of Mishal Hussain in later editions. Now, the business pages of the Sunday Times of 26th of May 2024 include this piece headed How to Land a £150,000 a year job as a city lawyer when you are only 25. And the descriptive line is the arrival of big US law firms in London has brought enormous pay deals that have forced the magic circle firms to follow suit. And the item is byline to Lait Al Khalaf. This piece has got the front page, the starting paragraph. For someone whose salary has nearly tripled, Kabisha is fairly nonchalant. The 25-year-old has just been promoted from a trainee lawyer to an associate at the London firm Linklaters, and in the process seen his £55,000 a year salary jump to £150,000. It puts Shah, a Londoner, 4 years out of university, within touching distance of the top 1% of earners in the United Kingdom, earning even more than most investment bankers can expect to make at his age. Now, this piece is about lawyers, but it's not about lawyers, it's about liars. Because there is no such thing as law, theoretical law, constitutional law, ethical law in practice in the United Kingdom at all, nor in the USA. What there is a constant conspiracy, an open plot, open corruption of what should be legal, what should be the purpose of the law. And this article is about the abuse of the idea of the law and the opposition to the concept of law as normally expressed in the phrases due process, and the rule of law. And this piece admits that being a member of the law firms doesn't require, it is not necessary to have a genuine bona fide qualification as a properly schooled student of law. Other disciplines suffice. In fact, they are being increasingly supplanting a legal degree or legal qualification. And there is this other piece underneath that article, the asset stripper that tried to clean up on the body shop. Anita Roddick is being shown as the saintess. And the body shop is still being promoted as a champion of campaigns. Absolute rubbish. Everything that the Sunday Times promotes, or the Times promotes, or the scum, also known as Sun, promotes, is diluted from the original or diverted from the original, which is why there is no mention in the piece headed How to Land a 150,000 pound job as a city lawyer when you were only 25. There is no mention in that piece about justice, about the abuse of the Constitution or the absence of the Constitution in Britain. There is no concept of access to remedies through bona fide law. There is no reference to the corruption that dominates the minds, the mindsets, and the decisions, the strategies, the narratives, the opinions of the overwhelming majority of the so-called judges in England. There has never been justice in the English judiciary, by the English judiciary. Never has been. And it's unlikely that there will be any justice in the near future, in the decades to come. Today, Monday, the bank holiday Monday, the May bank holiday Monday, the news circuits are promoting the frontier of the Labour Party, so-called, as saying that he has changed the Labour Party for permanently. What that means is that he is actually a few words short of saying that he has murdered the Labour Party as it was founded to be. We have world exclusively originally coined the phrase about Keir Starmer, political murderer of the Labour Party. We did that about 4 calendar years ago, and today's confession attributed to Keir Starmer actually confirms what we have all along said. We alone have said, all along we have said, nobody else, no platform, no organization, no commentator other than ourselves has said that, come anywhere near saying that. Similarly, our comment about 2 calendar years ago, calling Rishi Sunak sunk Sunak, has been vindicated by Sunak himself in getting drenched as he announced the 4th of July 2024 election date. Sunk and drenched are not very different, are they? Not very far from one another. We said that Sajid Javid, stupid Javid, as we call him, was very wrong on every count about Shamima Begum. We shall update on stupid Javid later, not in this edition, but later. And we have been saying right from the beginning that the reason why these 4 children, Shamima Begum and the other 3, from Bethnal Green in Tower Hamlets in East London, were allowed to fly out of the United Kingdom allegedly to join the so-called Islamic State was because the local Tower Hamlets Council, the council that had the duty and has the duty and continues to have the duty to safeguard these children, decided to neglect the duty to safeguard these children. Tower Hamlets Council continues to fail to carry out the duties that it owes the demography, the local people in Tower Hamlets, safeguarding the children duties, safeguarding the adult duties, safeguarding the community. Remember, it was against the neglecting, negligent, corrupt, crooked Tower Hamlets Council that this movement, the Kudilar campaign, was founded in 2003 by myself and K. Jordan. And we successfully stopped Tower Hamlets Council colluding with the plotters who wanted to dig a hole right in the middle of Brick Lane. We campaigned solidly for the best part of 10 years, and we stopped the crossrail hole being dug in the middle of Brick Lane. In doing so, we safeguarded hundreds of millions, thousands of properties and hundreds of millions of people's properties and wealth and housing from being destroyed, businesses from being destroyed. There is a small piece of correction that we have posted on Facebook about a man called Askir Mia who used to live in Stepney Way area in Stepney, and he passed away sometime in the 1990s. He was not active in opposing racism in the United Kingdom, but he was very active and vocal in supporting a Bangladeshi political party called the Awami League. He supported it while the Awami League was operating in Bangladesh, and it has been consolidating its power over the people of Bangladesh ever since. Askar Mia, his picture was printed on Facebook, on a Facebook account run by a former member of the Tower Hamlets Council called Said Mizan. Said Mizan's post asked people visiting the site if they recognized that picture. And a number of people followed the initial response by another former councillor called Saiful Alam, who wrongly said that it was a picture of another former councillor called Akikur Rahman. Now, we have posted a correction today, about 2 months after that particular wrong description of the late Askir Mia was published on Said Mizan's account. We have done that for the evidence that we had no connection with Mr. Askir Mia politically, because our movement doesn't support or affiliate with any political party operating in Bangladesh at all, or indeed anywhere else. But the fact is that this man existed as a part of the demography in the east end of London in Tower Hamlets, and the picture clearly is of Askir Mia, not of Akikur Rahman. And our movement knew both of these individuals, and we put this update. Askir Mia has been wrongly called Akikur Rahman, and then Akikur Rahman has been wrongly praised as a campaigner against racism. Akikur Rahman was one of the crowds that took part in the immediate aftermath of the racist murder of Altawale in May 1978. That is true. But there is no evidence that Akikur Rahman has been active in any way against racism that can be identified in the last 15 years, let's say, if not last 20 years. So it is important for people not to make false statements, either for or against somebody. We have no agenda against Haque Rahman, but we know the fact that Haque Rahman is not opposing racism actively, publicly, as can be traced, identified. We support the concept of opposing racism, but Haque Rahman is not opposing racism. And that picture is not of Haque Rahman. That picture is of Asker Mia, who used to live in a smaller street running parallel to Stepney Way. Between Stepney Way and the Commercial Road. At an event held in the Nazrul Center, around the time when the Nazrul Center was opened in the 1990s, a speaker, the Bangladeshi community speaker, described Asker Mia as Asagor Mia, and it immediately prompted laughter in the audience. We shall be talking more about the Nazrul Center in due course, not in this edition, but in due course. Nazrul Center, the naming of Nazrul Center was done by the initiative of the late Tasadduq Ahmad. But the Nazrul Center was not allowed to function as a Nazrul Center, as a cultural hub, because too many of the participants in the management, or more accurately the control of the Nazrul Center, turned out to be more interested in promoting their particular individual interests and careers. Now, everything that Nazrul stands for, everything that Nazrul's philosophy encourages and promotes and supports and is a model of, was abandoned, was forgotten, was shown contempt towards by those who claim to be interested in the control of the management center, control and management of the Kobi Nazrul Center in Hanbury Street. Thus, the Nazrul Center, as I predicted, disappeared. The name Nazrul Center may be there, but the Nazrul Center that it should have been and could have been disappeared. The volume of communications and correspondence between myself and those who controlled and claimed the legitimate right to control the Nazrul Center uniquely highlighted both Nazrul's work, the contextual work that needed to be done, and the contextual role of the Kobi Nazrul as the poet, as the philosopher, as the rebel, as the freedom fighter against the British Empire and British imperialism. All these were abandoned. So the work that I have done about Nazrul Center, the work that I have done about the other aspects, cultural, demographic, ethical, historical, social, of the Bangladeshi community in the United Kingdom is unique in each aspect. I created the movement against racism In the aftermath of the murder by racists of Al-Tabali in May 1978, I created the movement for justice for the child's Nasima Begum, justice against the racist, negligent London Ambulance Service, justice against the negligent health secretary in John Major's cabinet, Virginia Bottomley. I created a movement against the attack by the Sunday Times magazine against the Silotis, on the Bangladeshis, the Silotis, in the edition of the 2nd of December 1973. I created the movement for the freedom, for the dropping of the charges against the 40 plus Bangladeshis arrested by the London Metropolitan Police in the Bethnal Green Road on the 15th of July 1989. I continued that campaign successfully for 3 years. We shall be updating on all of these and other aspects in later editions. This is ending at just 32 minutes long at 19:22 hours GMT on Bank Holiday Monday, 27th of May 2024.